What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to the podcast, Two Vegetarians Eating Chicken. It's your boy, Mr. Lingo himself.
It's your boy, KJ.
Hey, man, this is a two-vac review. Two-vac movie review. You feel me?
And TV show.
And TV show.
What TV series?
TV series, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Netflix original, however you want to look at it. You feel me?
Yeah.
We got a couple of them we gonna touch on. You know what I'm saying? But we can kick it off. Let's kick it off with American Sin. You know what I'm saying?
Let's just go to Bridgerton.
Oh, shit. We've been already going back and forth about
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton. So, yeah, we're going to kick it off with that. You know what I'm saying? And me and KJ was basically discussing the pretty boy. I forget his name. Simon, the dude in Bridgerton. You feel me? We was talking about how... And spoiler, if you ain't seen Bridgerton by now, I don't know what to tell you. But
that's on you.
Yeah, it's a Netflix original. You feel me? Anyway, we was talking about how his trauma, his childhood trauma, affected him as an adult when it came to his personal life, his love interests, all of that shit played a part. And how he maneuvered and moved about how he was as an individual when it came to having a partner or, you know, whatever that may be. And basically the conversation was surrounded about how his father was just an asshole, you know what I'm saying? How he basically swore to his father or made a vow that he would never... make a child, or the name
he wouldn't carry his bloodline.
The name was gonna die with him, basically.
Yes.
You feel me? So he told his daddy on his deathbed, "You ain't finna never get no grandchild," basically because of how your ass treated me and what happened to his mother. Pretty much. What are your thoughts, KJ?
Well, I don't really think it was about his mother. It was just the fact that his father never showed him love and the mistreatment of him. I would just say that to be clear.
Okay.
He had plenty of blood from I don't know who she was.
It played a part though, because I feel like his aunt, it was his aunt.
Okay, his aunt.
They kept losing babies. If you remember that part, like she could never have a baby.
Right.
And she
gave him an heir, and then she passed away.
Right.
And then
but he cared so much about the baby itself that he didn't even know when she damn near died. Well, she basically died on the.
I mean, but he didn't know that. And we can't assume that the auntie told him that. So that's just something we just got to cut out of our minds.
I think she did, though. I think somehow it came up.
So like I said, we can't assun that she told him that, so we can cut that. That was just a crunchy ass egg roll.
It was. Jerk chicken egg roll.
We won't even assume the fact that she even told him that to even start with this.
That's
so we can just eliminate that entire piece of your trauma section.
Okay.
My issue is that so many people throw around the word trauma, but like life experiences as a whole, everything is traumatic, right? Because when we think about trauma, what is it naturally? Trauma is technically something that alters your brain and make you go down it alters the way you think or the way you feel. It makes you go down a certain path. Cool, but at the end of the day,
it depends on the trauma too, though.
At the end of the day, the choice is always like if the trauma is there or if it's healed. What we saw in him, from my point of view, is that he was just angry, and his anger was still there, and it was unresolved. Now you can easily say, "Oh, it's unresolved trauma." Sure, say whatever you want to say, but at the end of the day,
where did the anger come from?
The mistreatment of how his father treated him. The love that he never received. It's just kind of like...
Right, so we're agreeing that it's trauma. We're
not agreeing about trauma.
Okay.
We're agreeing about he had a negative interaction. I'll say this, right?
He was still traumatized.
As a kid, if you get beat up by a bully, is it traumatizing? Yes. As a kid, as an adult, do you still go back to that? Well, when I was 12, Jaku
depends on how many times he beat your ass.
All right, he beat me and stole my bike.
One time?
3 times. I had 3 bikes. He stole my bike 3 times. He had an encounter with his father, we'll say about 3 times in the show. I had got my bike stolen 3 times. I got punched in the face. All right, cool. So now you're 25, you're 35. What most people gonna say? Boy, that bike was over a long time ago. You need to let that shit go. I ain't trying to hear
So that means
nothing.
he never resolved it as a youngin. You feel me?
Fair.
So if you never resolve some shit, that shit will carry on with you. You feel me? I'm
not saying that it wouldn't, but what I'm saying is those memories definitely set up something in his brain for him to think the way he thought.
Right.
Cool. But we can't say that's why he was the way that he was as an entirety, because
okay. So then let's move forward a little bit. So he meets his girl, whatever the fuck her name was, something Bridgerton, and
she wasn't a Bridgerton. Oh, she was a
Bridgerton. Yeah. So it's based on their family.
Yeah.
Or at least the name. So he meets his girl.
Meet her.
They put on this facade.
Yep.
Basically, back in those days, your ass used to get forced to marry whoever.
It was an arrangement.
Whatever, that shit is forcing. You can't force me to marry nobody. So basically,
it's still happening today.
In a way, but it looks completely different than the way it used to look back then. Basically,
nah, people still have balls. You go to this.
Nah,
ball,
you're right. I'm just saying. I feel like there's a little leeway, probably. Back then, or at least the way the show portrayed it, there wasn't really no leeway. Like, yo, this is final. Like, they were saying shit like that. You marrying him, it's final. You want her to marry this ugly ass dude?
I mean, that was the brother's way, because the way that you do it back then is you marry into money. Money needs to connect with more money, so you can also make sure that your family behind is set straight.
So how you felt about the situation as the individual did not matter at all. Basically, how this shit was portrayed in Bridgerton.
It did, as long as the person had money.
Nah, but if she ain't want to marry this dude, so she put on the facade with Simon, basically, so they can fool everybody into thinking that
so she can get more
like
pursuers,
so she could get different pursuers per se than a dude who she felt was creepy as hell. She just didn't want to marry him. So long story short, they end up catching feelings, because that's typically what happens. You know what I'm saying? They end up catching feelings, and he never told her. You feel me? That. Basically, she went along with the idea that, well, he never wanted to marry her. She wanted to marry him when it came down to it, because basically I think they end up smashing or something like that.
No. See, and that's where it gets confusing, right? No, they both had mutual feelings for each other.
Right.
He knew the vow he made and what would have made her happy.
Right.
And he knew the vow he made to himself and the promise he made to his father.
Right.
So because he knew what he held as a true value for himself, he did not want to make her unhappy by wedding her and not giving her what she wanted, which is ultimately children and a family.
Right.
Because he knew that he didn't want to do that.
Right, but the way he came off about it was he couldn't have children. He never told her why he didn't want to have children.
Wait.
He didn't.
No.
At the beginning, he didn't.
Nope. He never said it. Just because you imply that and you read into that and you read into her side doesn't mean that that's how it came off. He clearly just
the story start portraying itself to everybody, even in that town, wherever the fuck they was at, knew that when they got married that he couldn't have children.
That he wasn't going to have children.
No, they knew that he couldn't. They perceived it as, you might have to go look again.
We gotta watch it again.
They know.
But wait. You just said the key word. They perceived it as he couldn't have children.
Right, but he knew it was anything. So like he knew that he was setting himself up when he knew he had feelings for her enough to just be like, look, I know you want to get married. And then he ain't tell her until it was the day of the duel.
Because he didn't want to tell her.
He never said, I can't. He said, I can't give you children, but he never said, I can't basically give you children because I made a vow to my father.
I'll tell you this, man. Is it my fault you didn't ask the ultimate question for me to say?
Nah, you can't do that, bro. You gotta. It's clear communication.
No, it is not
clear communication.
Obviously.
When it comes to a decision that we about to make and be together for the rest of our life, he definitely wanted to marry her too, fam. Like, let's not get it twisted. He definitely wanted to marry her too. But in that moment, even it was like death on the line. In that moment, you supposed to be like, listen, I cannot give you kids, because I made a vow to my father on his deathbed that it will die with me. Nope. He never said that shit. He just said, I know you want to marry me, but I'm letting you know right now, I can't give you children. That's all he said. What the fuck does that mean? Like, you got, is something wrong with your sperm? Like, you shoot blanks?
Look how you asked that question, though. Look how you asked that question, though.
No.
Look how you asked that question, though. Obviously.
She never said nothing.
All right.
He told her.
All right.
So you saying he wasn't in the wrong for not clearly communicating why he couldn't give her children.
I didn't say
this
that.
woman went along with it the whole time, thinking that this man can't give her kids.
It's not his fault.
It is his fault, bro.
Hey,
bro,
it's 100%
his fault, bro. It's 100% his fault.
That fuckboy shit.
It's 100% his fault.
No,
I'm
it is not.
Sure
It is not my fault that you did not ask the certain question. It's plenty of people who didn't hear.
So when he said, hold on, no, not to cut you off. When he said, not even. And I'm gonna let you finish right after I say that.
Oh.
So when he said,
finish, but Beyonce has to. Stop.
So when he said, "I can't give you children," was it on her to be like, "Why you can't give me children?"
Kinda.
Okay, go ahead. Finish.
Why not?
Finish.
Why not? I mean, if you tell me I love you too, but I can't give you children, why not? What's wrong with you? Then that's the like for me that's the question. Why not? What's wrong with you?
But that's such a broad statement. I can't give you children.
All right, why not? Right, because it's so broad. Why not?
I mean, I probably would have been like, why?
That's like you'd be like, oh, I'd be like, hey, I can't go to the store right now. What you doing?
Right, but he knew that she loved him so much, even with him saying, I can't give you children, she was still going to be like, fuck that, like, I still want to be with you.
He didn't know that. And that's why he pretty much was crying when he told her that.
Okay, so then when he was going to walk off.
It hurt him just as much as it hurt
her.
But
when he walked off, like he was going to go back to the door, and she was like, it's not about to happen, me and him about to wed. At that moment, that she just put another opportunity in front of you to go up to you and be like, you feel me? All right, damn, now I see that you actually really love me.
I already told you this piece, though. I already told you. I already said my piece. It's just like, I'm like, hey, bro, I'm sorry that I woo. And then it's up to you to accept my apology or not, correct?
After she found out
No. If I hit you, and we'll say we have an altercation or something happen, and then I come back, like, 2 months later, I'm like, hey, bro, I know we had this altercation. I'm sorry. I just want to give you my side. It's up to you to either ask more questions or to accept it and move forward with me.
Facts, because you just put it in my...
So, like I said, so there you go.
He never did that, though.
So, what you mean? He said, hey, I can never give you... If this happened, we can never have children, pretty much. And she never said, why not? What's wrong with you? Or why not? Blah, blah, blah. She just said, okay.
Okay, so then when she found out what it looked like to make a baby and the sex and how all that, so was that her fault that she basically forced herself to make that nigga nut at her? Like was that her fault or was that his fault?
Nah, that wasn't her fault. I mean.
So now at this point it's starting to be he getting ample opportunities to be like, you feel me? Listen, we can't have no motherfucking kids because of this.
I mean, but at the same time, that's time for a perfect conversation on.
Right, he never took that initiative. Even when he got to the point when they started smashing, for real, you feel me? They were smashing a lot. And my man just kept pulling out. She didn't know why. She just thinking like, you feel me? Oh, you feel me? His pull-out game was strong as shit, bro. Like, you feel me? This nigga was pulling out every single time. I'm like, man,
I thought
you feel
he
me?
was just like going down on her the whole time.
Nah, that nigga was pulling out. He's pulling out every single time. Every single time they did it, he pulled out. You feel me? And then she figured out this is what it takes for you to make a baby when she asked the little maid lady. So once she figured that out, she's like, oh, nigga, I'm getting on top. That scene was like powerful because it was like a power move. Like, I'm finna get on top. You feel me? We finna hide this motherfucker. We finna see what this is. You feel me? And the whole time he's just sitting there like, oh, this shit feels so good. Like, you feel me? Like, no. He never once pushed her off and was like, listen, this is why we can't have. That was another opportunity for them to do it. But basically, he just let that shit ride. And then she got pregnant. You feel me?
It was what it was at the end of the day.
Listen, you feel me?
At the end of the day.
Clearly, we got our opinions about Bridgerton.
Of the day.
You feel me? Hopefully, y'all seeing it. You know what I'm saying?
If not,
make some comments on it. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna stop it at that. You feel me?
Eating chicken, what you wanna do? Missing, give me that chicken, give me that chicken. Chicken. Chicken.